we're gonna have this gonna be one of my footage for like when we go back and be like, this is
from where we started.
Yeah.
To
Look at us then versus now.
I do remember times where I feel like it was hard to come and talk to you. Do you feel like you could have this conversation that we're having right now with your mom?
Not at this point, no. Yeah, you do have one mom. Life's too short. It is too short. But sometimes moms are provoking.
Do you feel like moms can be jealous of their daughters?
I was, molested as a kid, and if you or Amy would have ever come and told me something like that, how did you get molested?
Welcome back to my channel. On this episode, we're doing something different on Talks with Tweet. Our goal for today's interview it's so many goals. I just know that it's going to be a healing conversation for a lot of mothers, daughters, and people who really just want to talk to their parents and they feel like they cannot talk to their parents. So I hope this interview today helps multiple women and their mothers heal some differences and make it easier for you guys to have those hard conversations. So I am interviewing my mother today. She is a life coach, a life strategist, actually.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Chandrika May. I'm Tiaria's mom. Like she's mentioned earlier, I am a life strategist. Came about that just by way of listening to God, my divine purpose in life. Basically, I'm just a proud mom and proud grandmother, and I'm just happy to be here today on this show. Let's start off with a quick prayer, and then we can go into answering the questions. Father God, we just thank you for this day, God. We thank you for the opportunity, God, for a mother and a daughter to get together, God, and just bask in your presence, God. God, I just thank you for the open hearts, God. I thank you for the open minds, God. God, I thank you for what you're doing with this unity, God, with this unit. God, I just ask that you bless this conversation, God. I ask that the words come from you, God. I ask that they are healing, not just to us, God, but to every ear, God, that is hearing us and that is listening, God. We ask that this podcast is pleasing in your name, God, and that this thing goes forward, God, just not to help us, like I said, but to help every mother and daughter that wishes to have a close bond, a close union, and God, just to heal generational lineage, God. In your name, amen.
Amen. So why did you say yes to being on today's episode?
Well, for a couple of reasons. I say yes, mainly because it's an honor for one to be invited to speak on your Talk with Tweety. This is my first, invitation, so that's an honor. And second of all, just have an opportunity for us to sit down together and to begin our healing journey as mother and daughter. I have prayed for us to be allowed to have this in a more of a, I guess, a counseling setting or something like that. But this is a great start, and I'm just excited that God has allowed us to get to this point.
I know you said counseling, but like, what do you feel like we really need, I guess, counseling on?
Just you and I?
Yeah.
Just, I guess some of the stuff that's the unspoken trauma stuff, the unspoken things that's just kind of like uncomfortable to talk about between, maybe just like two people that are not to a point of emotional maturity to handle the conversation without somebody that's kind of like being a mediator.
What's something you feel like people should understand about being a mom, specifically a single mom? Because you have, I can say one thing, I take my hat off to you for raising two girls on your own the majority of our lives and just doing it like it's nothing. So what's your advice to people out there as far as to single moms and to also people looking on the outside, but they got so much to say about, moms and how we doing it nowadays?
In my case, I'm not an intentional single parent.
Right.
Just life happened and situations happened to where I just had to adjust and just, take that thing on and just do it.
And nobody really intentionally wants to be a single parent.
Right.
So my dad passed away I was 8 years old, and my parents were married. So I don't have the generational cycle that I see more so today with my group of girls, but I have seen that become like baby mama culture has become a trend. Do you feel like women should be moving a little more wisely when it comes to
the choices?
The choices,
I mean, because everything is a choice. That's your free will as a person, as a human. Like, it's your choice. Like, I chose you know, I was 17 when I did get married, but I was emotionally mature. I feel that, you know, I knew what I wanted. I saw like my mom and dad were married 14 years at that time, and so I did see a part of like a relationship that I liked. You know what I'm saying? I liked how they showed each other love. Like they were just like high school sweethearts, basically. So I wanted that for myself in my relationship, and I also wanted a provider type guy. And your dad was like all of that.
That guy.
He was that guy. He was. So he took care of me, you know, and so like I would say that I would probably have chosen him if he wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I'm very intentional about my moves.
I can say I honestly admire that too, being raised by a set of parents who were married. So yeah. I can honor that. How do you define motherhood now compared to when you started? Because now you're a Gigi. Now you've seen me in my motherhood journey so far.
So how do I see it?
Like, because you had, you started motherhood early on. I started motherhood early on too, but like compared then to now, like,
I've seen, I guess, the relationship between mom and daughter kind of, in my case, evolve. Some things that I've done, I did with you guys when y'all were kids. Like I see that you know, kind of added to that. You know what I'm saying? Made it better, and it's kind of like, okay, I can see the evolution in that parenting style. I mean, motherhood is motherhood. Like it's a natural thing. You can't really. It's something that's innate. It's a God-given.
There's no rule book,
right? It's just like you gonna get it. Like you will catch on. You will figure it out. If you really want to. Mother is not a light-hearted word. It has a lot of stuff on that word. So
yeah,
and so that's why I've started to actually kind of remove titles from people and deal with people accordingly to their character.
How do you think the way you were raised shaped the way you raised us?
I think I raised you guys a little more, I guess, a little more mama berry, because there were certain times in my childhood that I didn't feel safe. Okay. And so I kind of made sure that you guys were always, you always were protected for one, and made to feel safe, and not just put in situations where you were disregarded or not felt. I want to say not felt seen, because I know sometimes you say you haven't felt seen before, and you're like,
I'll say that
in your middle school, like you were like you couldn't talk to me because like your opinion was I guess not valid to me, and so you kind of healed that to like, oh, I can't talk to you because whatever, but like I think that's what I'm working on now, more like having like an open communication, transparency, more of an understanding of kind of like why I was like that,
yeah,
and then versus how we are now.
But I think I could say the same too, like what I learned from how I was raised versus how I'm raising Chloe. I guess there were times where I feel like, now, because we're not gonna get it right.
Exactly.
Like we just learn, we grow through it. We don't go through it. So even though our parents, like you were saying earlier, like you feel like through your childhood, you had a great relationship with your mom. Then when you moved and certain adolescent stages, things started to struggle. I think that's like the same stage. Like we just go through developmental periods, and we grow through them with our parents. Right. So like in middle school, the mind is going through so much. Like just being a psychology major, I feel like that's something I've learned and been seeing even working as a teacher. So I've been like, it don't even really be personal sometimes. It just be like growing pains. Right. And like our brain doesn't really see like, okay, our parents are trying to protect us from something. Right. We feel like they're too strict. Right. But I do remember times where I feel like it was hard to come and talk to you because you have a strong opinion. Now you're more aware where it's easier to talk to you about it. So it's like, it don't feel like I'm talking back, or because you can still say in a respectful way, but a person has to be ready to receive that. A person has to be there. So I applaud you for being more open nowadays, because back then it was a little like, I can't tell my mama how I feel because she gonna shut it down. But now it's like, okay, I see where you're coming from. And then even me, like I feel like that's why I'm not as strict with Chloe. Like I let her say what she wants, and y'all be like, "Ooh, you letting her talk to you like that?" And I'll be like, and I'll be seeing it from a point of like, I don't want to shut down everything. I want her to be comfortable saying stuff to me. Of course, she had to learn how to be respectful. And her delivery. Yes. But also like she's like 7 years old. Some stuff that I'd be like, this is how she really
She
feel.
really
Like
don't.
she
Yes,
and
genuine.
she
It's
not being
innocent.
like some of the stuff. It don't even be
Yeah,
disrespectful.
it's
It just be
innocent.
like, Chloe, you gotta learn. Like you can't talk
Right.
to everybody like that.
Exactly.
And it be so factual, like to where I be like, I can't even argue with you. That's a valid point, but
Exactly.
you know
And so
the
the way I
delivery.
was raised, like there was like you couldn't ask a question.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
somebody
Yeah,
said this is what you do, like okay, you do it. You don't ask questions
don't
about why.
question it.
Chloe wants to know why she got to do it. You know what's gonna be the outcome of it, and is she gonna have to keep doing it?
Before I move into what I needed as a child, what do you feel like you needed? Because I feel like you've already brought up what I needed. Like you feel like I needed a little bit more validation. You feel like I needed you to be more approachable. What do you feel like you needed growing up that you just didn't get, and maybe you still haven't get? Maybe there's still some voids you you want to feel. Like that's natural.
The voids that I may have been feeling before don't have anything to do with anything outside of me.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of that conclusion. But as a child, like I felt like I knew I was loved, but we never like said it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like I don't know the word to use. Um, it was compassion love, but it wasn't like I told like I love you. Like you always like I knew you loved me because you told me you loved me.
Right.
It was like I'm doing this.
Of
It's
course
like a
I
love
love you.
act. Yeah, of course I love you.
You
Like
got
you're
a
my
roof
kid.
over your
Like
head.
yeah, I'm paying bills. So it wasn't until like not even you. It wasn't until Amy came along to where I was able to tell my mom I loved her. And it was only because Amy was like, because Amy's that person. She said, I love, why you ain't tell grandma you loved her? And I'm like, it felt so awkward at first.
Yeah.
It was just like a forced thing. And I'm like, oh, why am I feeling like that? And then, so that was like another, I guess, turning point in my life too, where I was like, you know what, I'm breaking this. Like, I want
Why
to
is
make
it so
sure,
hard
like,
to say I love you?
why is it so hard for me and her? Like, so we got out of there, so I was able to tell her I loved her and not only just say it, but not feel awkward about it and not feel like, why is it so hard for me to do that?
Was it like a period of awkwardness when y'all first started it?
Yeah, because at first I was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to say it now again? Like,
right.
It was like practice made perfect, but it was like, oh my God, I don't want this to feel fake and genuine. Like, it gotta feel right to me.
Right.
Because like I do love my mama, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, dang, like it's hard for me to say that to her.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's one thing I was like, I make sure that my kids know I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Not only just by providing the things that you're supposed to do to love somebody, but like make sure y'all knew that verbally. Like,
do you feel like you could have this conversation that we're having right now with your mom?
Not at this point, no.
No.
These kind of conversations have to happen in a healed environment at some level of healing. Yeah. Like it has to be some mutual like level of healing, because some people don't know how to take accountability for things, and then sometimes when you talk about things from the past that don't leave people in a good light, that may we probably moved past it, we didn't heal, we forgive each other, we moved on, but now you're talking about it right now, now you're painting this light again, you're showing you're shining this light on this thing that's happened to somebody, and you don't want to address it, you want to sweep things under the rug, and like so,
and it may not be in this particular setting because clearly we're publicizing our relationship, but do you think that if you had the resources of a counselor and the privacy to do that, cut the cameras, do you think your mom is ready to have that conversation with you?
I think so. Because we've talked about it before. We've kind of like said once the resources are available that we would like to have like family counseling. So we have, but we can't have it one-on-one, just me and her right now. It wouldn't be beneficial to either one of us. So.
Okay. Do you feel like you're ready for the conversation, or do you feel like your mom's not ready for the conversation? Or do you feel like it would, maybe y'all will get in an argument? Do you feel like it would actually hurt y'all's relationship instead of help it?
I just have a big heart, and I don't want anybody to feel like it's an attack or like I'm at that point, right? I'm like not trying to do it to anybody.
Right.
And I know that some of the stuff that I'm remembering, because I've been like unlearning to relearn a lot of stuff. Yeah. And during this process, it's not looking good for a lot of folks.
I've been seeing some of your TikToks, and I'm like, who's she talking about? Like, that's very specific.
It's whoever it's for. Like, right. I'm not putting it out there for one particular person, but like that is part of my healing, to express myself a little more.
Well, I'm just saying in particular because I'm not on it's not on my For You page because I'm your friend on TikTok. Yeah. So, like, one of your TikToks, I can't remember. I'll insert the clip here.
stuff that he's revealing is disheartening, to say the least. It's unbelievable.
But it was saying something that you just mentioned. Like, you're seeing things.
Yeah.
And you're learning to
take a step back.
And then also, like, you can't unsee what you saw.
Exactly.
So
you can't unsee it. You can't go back and change it. And when you, I guess.
And how does that make you feel? Like, I'm sorry I keep cutting you off.
You good?
How does that? Because I keep getting questions
okay.
as we're going through the conversation.
Baby. This is healing for us. So
literally,
let's do it.
How does that make you feel seeing stuff that your parents never even brought up? Like, parents forget that you saw that or you went through that with them, and you can't unsee what you saw. Like, but they have never brought it up. You have to literally think about it. You like, wow, like, we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna slide past that. Like, now that you're seeing things, because sometimes it'd be like you forgot all about that, but you'll be like maybe daydreaming, maybe you just think about, or somebody pop up on your For You page or pop up on your Facebook friends. And you're like, oh my gosh, I remember this happened. You know, this one Christmas, this one Thanksgiving with the family, and my mama ain't even say nothing. Nobody had my back. I felt like or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you dealing with that? Are you bringing that up when it comes up? It's popping in your head, or you just like, they knew what happened, they should know. My mom knew this happened, she should know.
Like, when those thoughts come to me, or when I, kind of go back and kind of try to heal my trauma, because I got a lot of trauma. Like, so you have to go back and unpack it. It's called shadow work. You have to go back and do this. Why do I act this way? Why do I think this way? Why do I believe this?
Yeah.
Was it taught to me? Was it taught right to me? Yeah. How I address things now. So I go back, and so what's helped me? This has helped me. I'm talking about for real. I've gone back and tried to unpack things that happened in my life, childhood, today, and I just take a step back, and I look at it through the perspective of that person, and I try to see it with compassion. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people really don't get it. Like, they don't. Yeah. They don't know. Like, how you gonna teach me how to do something you wasn't taught? I'm just learning to just take a step back, see it for what it is. Know that people gonna be themselves. Like, you can't change anybody. I can only go about it the way I'm able to maneuver it. You know what I'm saying? So, I try to take stuff personal, because I know it's not. It's a spiritual war. We're not fighting against people. So it's like, okay, yes, the enemy want to use somebody closest to you to get you to think whatever, low vibrational, negatively, like, not want to have a relationship with your daughter, because in the Bible it says in the last days it's gonna be mom against daughter. That don't mean it gotta be for us, right? Because we're in the last days, because we are. But I'm saying that don't mean it's gotta apply to me and you. Right. Decipher what's what, and move forward accordingly.
That's all you can do.
That's it.
And then I guess feeling angry. Do you have feelings of anger? Because that's still a valid feeling, even though you have this positive perspective, and I actually enjoy it, embrace it. But like, you do have those moments. You do have to unpack and think about it. You don't get angry?
I do. I'm still a human. Like, I get angry, and I get angry. I get sad. Sometimes I find myself wanting to fall back into that depression, or like the victim mode. Like, why did that happen to me?
Yeah.
Or, but I don't like those feelings. So what I do is I tend to try to focus on things that lift me up, and so I can remain positive, and I can be a light to other people, and like, just let people know that, you ain't got to live in that. You need to sit with it.
Yeah.
You have to sit with it, because if you don't, you're not gonna move forward, because you're gonna carry that with you. That's baggage, So I have to sit with it. So I do get to the point where I might think back, and I find myself getting more mad at it when it's like people haven't taken accountability for it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's really what I get mad about. Like, I just be like, oh, okay. But I have to take a step back and, okay, it ain't personal. It ain't personal.
So I guess that goes like, how people like, that's your mom, you forgive her. Yeah. Don't be mad at your mom. Life is so short. Life is short. I'm still a human, and things still happen, and people need to take accountability. We can't make them.
Right.
But how does that make you feel when people say that? Because, like, I remember I was just at brunch with my friends a few weeks ago, and like, our moms came up. Somebody was reading about their mom, and I was just like, I'm bringing this up in the podcast. What my mom doing? and like their family members are like, don't be mad at your mom, life's short. But like, she has a valid reason to be mad at your mom, and it's hard because it's like she needs her mom, like me and you. If something happens, it's just like, bro, I still need my mom to help me with clothes. Like, you all I got. Because I can honestly say I get frustrated when people be like, say that, because like, yeah, life is too short. I know that. I get it. If something happened, my mom, I'm upset with my mom right now, I'm still gonna be devastated. Like, you ever have them thoughts of like your parents dying and you literally start crying and ain't nothing happened to them? Like, I literally do that sometimes. I would just be like thinking, and I'm like, I don't even know where the thoughts come from, bro. It just be like random, like, what, like, dang, I would be so sad.
I know.
Like, if my parents live, and then it's just like, bro, and it don't matter how mad I could be at my parent. If I lost my parent, duh, I'm going to be sad. Exactly. Duh, life is short. But how does that make you feel? Because I just feel like that's just so like cliche. Yeah, or just people don't really like. Let me have my moment.
I feel like it just depends because yeah, you do have one mom, but like I said, I started removing titles from people. You know what I'm saying? Like a mother. Like,
so you gonna wait? So how people be like, that's my baby daddy, not my child's father. Is that what you're saying by titles? Like, give me an example about what you mean.
I want to like grade people on their soul, like their spirit. I'm on the fence with that one. Like, you can agree to disagree on that. Like, I'm like, yeah, you do have one mom. Life's too short. It is too short. But sometimes moms are provoking. They can provoke their children, and sometimes they know what they're doing and they refuse to change. So just because it's your mom, don't mean that she gets that title of like mother.
So going back to that word when you said mothers can provoke their daughters, do you feel like moms can be jealous of their daughters?
I do. I feel like it's very common that a lot of moms are jealous of their daughters.
Where do you feel like that comes from?
I feel like it comes from the mom not living, like, seeing the daughter doing, like, living the dreams that she had for herself. A lot of times that would happen. But if you're healed enough and if you're healthy, that's supposed to happen. That should happen. You should want to see your daughter doing better than you. You should want your daughter to be a better version of you. I tell you all the time, you gotta be better. You're gonna be better than me.
Right.
Like, that's my support. Like, I'm like, I want to see you shine. Hell yeah, that's like a kudos to me, a pat on my back. Like, you know, like, so I feel like it's a lot comes from like unhealed trauma that people have carried over the years, and they just haven't unpacked it, and they don't know how to deal with it, and so it leaves people not being able to support people the correct way. And it's not just mother and daughter, but I know we're talking about that, but that holds people up from being able to support in general.
Yeah,
because they didn't get it, and it's like, so if I ain't give you, y'all ain't finna give it to you. Like, right. So people have that attitude, and it's like, okay, but if somebody that you birthed, you cared for 9 months, you birthed, like, wouldn't you want them to do better than you?
But also, once that child beats those odds, they get to a certain point. Now the parent feels like, oh, because I'm the parent, you owe me something.
Right. That's where you got to remove a title again. Like, okay, in that case, society standards, right? Yeah, I owe my parents because they took care of me. Yeah. That was you supposed to. You're supposed to do that.
Celebrities and their mothers, and once they have kids, like for example, Cardi B mom, I always see Cardi B's mom with her grandkids. Yeah. Like, I don't see them breaking that tradition. I don't see them having a hire nannies unless, the mom just needs a break. Right. Like, I love that. Right. So when people get to a certain point of success and they're like, oh, well, you got money to get a nanny, you don't need, like, I feel like that attitude, where do you feel like that comes from? I said, you think you said
values? A lot of traditions have died, and people are just like kind of let things just fall away. Yeah. So like the grandma passed away, so she was the only one kind of holding everything together, and then, everybody got so selfish these days. It's all about me, me, me.
Yeah.
And not us, us, us anymore. So, and that was intentionally done to the people. So a lot of people are not strong enough to say, hey, you know what? Let me take a step back. But dang, like, I used to love going by my grandmother's house when I was little. Or I used to, this made me happy. This was like a natural, high or whatever, like, to feel this love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you remember going by grandma's house when you were little?
I was just about to ask you that. Do you feel like grandma loved us differently than she loved you?
Yeah.
In what way, though? Like, what ways?
I feel like.
Did you feel like she showed us more love, or
did you? I feel like she tried to not make up for what the lack or the what didn't get done with y'all. Like, she tried to overcompensate in that area, which was fine. Like, I appreciate it because I ain't let nobody keep y'all either.
Yeah.
It was just her and me, really.
Mhm.
If y'all had to be kept. But yeah, I feel that way.
Cheers.
Cheers.
When you look back, do you think there were moments where you were trying to protect me, but it may have come across as control?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Like what? Can I name one?
Sure.
My biggest one that I can talk about is picking a college. Looking back, I'm glad that you picked the college that I went to, but I remember you not letting me go to a HBCU because you felt like the people that you saw come from there, they gave a different vibe. They were Black success, but their energy was still, just because you were
Ghetto.
minority. They were
It
ghetto.
was ghetto. Like and that's how I feel. And I don't feel that way anymore. But when you were in college, 2015, 16,
Yeah.
I did feel that way. And then me trying to have this image of, this mom, you know what I'm saying? I could see how that could come across as controlling.
Even being book wild, I don't feel like I was book wild. I feel like I was a little rebellious. A little bit, but not as rebellious as some of them kids I went to school with, baby.
No,
I'd be like, you know what? I might not have been that bad after all. Yeah. But nah, I had my ways though. I remember some of the stuff I did was crazy. But do you think that I rebelled in certain ways because you were so protected?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of,
and that was okay because like teenagers do that. I rebelled against my mom because not that she was controlled, but I just didn't agree with a lot of stuff that she was doing, and with me not like staying at the child's place, not being able to. So my way of like lashing out or whatever was, I guess, talking back, rolling my eyes, or just giving her attitude, whatever, because I couldn't do anything more than that because I was gonna get knocked out.
But now that I look back, that control kind of benefited along, because I'd be like, dang, I'm glad we wasn't able to spend a night at everybody's house, that we couldn't go to every party, because now look at those people. Now look at what could have happened, what could have transpired. So it's like everything happens for a reason. So sometimes you got to be grateful for the controlling aspects. And at some point, you do have to. There are controllables as a parent. Exactly. You get that power as a parent, as a mom. No, you're not going here. That you see things that your kids don't see. So in certain ways, I think that's just like one of those developmental stages that kids, you are adolescent and it's an adult. You're not gonna understand.
And then kids don't understand because they feel like the parents trying to keep them from something.
Right.
Like, no, we've been there, we've done that, and then a lot of times parents get like stuck in the fact that you gotta let them you gotta let them live their own life. Like, and that's a part of me that I just learned recently that a lot of times I was just trying to play God in y'all life. I was trying to be God to y'all. Like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not God. So you got to go through your own stuff. You gotta get to know God for yourself. You got to know,
like, don't touch the stove, it's hot.
Exactly. I can tell you, but if you don't go there and touch yourself, you're gonna be like, well,
who was that who put their finger in the fan?
It might not be.
Was that Amy that put her finger in the fan? Yeah. Like, leave that fan alone. Leave that fan alone.
She won't do that again. She still don't like stuff to go around.
Don't even.
I know I was left unsafe in a couple of situations or circumstances that if my parents would have like known a little more information or cared about what time I was coming back or stuff like that, it was like kind of probably would have been protected a little more or not healing trauma 40 years later because of it.
For real.
So stuff like that,
Yeah.
So like, because for example, I was molested as a kid, and if you or Amy would have ever come and told me something like that, it would. How did you get molested? When did I leave you for however much long to allow you to be molested? You know what I'm saying? So, or even if you did, get molested, like who did it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what they doing right now?
Right. Well, my free mama by my kid. I'll be doing anyway.
And I still feel that same way though. Like, I'm still gonna go behind mine. Sometimes people feel like, oh, just because you my mama or you my brother or you my child, whatever, like you got to be on my side. No, you don't. You got to do what's right. What's right in God's eye, not even religiously, but like what's the right thing to do.
Not only that, how do you feel about parents? You, like you just said, having your taking accountability. When your child wrong, let them know they wrong.
Exactly.
But how do you feel about parents publicly embarrassing their daughters? Like, I seen a woman cut her daughter's hair off because she came home late or something like that. I seen them put on Facebook just post what happened.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like that's what that to me is triggering, and I could see some that turning into like suicide.
Yeah.
To
That's bullying.
That's bullying.
That's bullying. You get bullied by your parent. If that child would just sit back and be like, well, damn, why my mama feel like it's okay to do that to me?
Mm-hmm.
She would look back and be like, well, that's why, because look at her life. And, you know, but some people ain't strong enough to be like, well, I'm going to give you a pass because whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
or just hold them accountable in private.
Hold them accountable.
Get a whooping. Get a whooping in private. You ain't got to post a whooping because it's people that post whooping their child.
Right.
Like,
it's attention. A lot of people seek attention. And then, like, for you to put it on social media, everybody trying to do something to get money. Like, that's you basically selling your soul just to make a video. And that's what a lot of people are doing. Like, just doing whatever. Because, like, what attention is that getting her? Just think about it. If she posted that video, is getting her attention is from people that's like-minded, like her, low vibrational.
And people that
projecting onto somebody else their trauma or whatever, lack of
bringing views regardless. And then people that don't hold their kids accountable, as
Lord,
we can see that they grow up and then their parents are all confused. Like, I don't know why she disrespect me like this. I see that so much to the point that I be like, I don't even want those type of people around my child or me, because I be like, what? Yeah. Like, and everybody got their own house on rules, but it should kind of be some universal code.
You have
to be like.
Well, it don't. The Bible even says raise up a child the ways to go, right? Like,
it don't even matter what religion you are.
Exactly.
Like, at some point, you do have a certain respect, even at work. I think that's like a thing. People have service years. If they've been there longer, what is that called?
Tenure or
grandfathered
in or
if you've been there longer, you're gonna be looked at different. You're gonna be promoted first. Certain things happen, so it's just like even in the real world with your parents, like then you grow up and you trying to be confused as to why your child don't respect you or talk to you anyway, but
or respect others
or themselves.
That's where it starts. So yeah, and a lot of people don't hold their kids accountable for things. I could probably say because the fear of like the kids, like, I don't know, not wanting to talk to them or being mad at them and just causing like that friction where there wasn't any. So why you want to call something now, like just to keep the peace, you know, not knowing that it's gonna hurt in the end. Like, call you don't get a time. Remember?
Yes, I wish I still had that video.
And I was like, no man, we calling the police when we get there. Like, we not gonna do that.
So y'all, I prank called my mom and I told her that the person that I was dating at the time, I was like, I rolled him up in the rug and Chloe sleep, can you come get her? Like, come get me. I need you to help me discard the body.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'm finna call the police on you. Like, and then mind you, y'all, like literally, I'm like, I had to keep muting it because I was laughing, but I was also so mad. I'm like, she ain't gonna help me like her daughter. So
I was on the way there, but we gonna call the police when I got there.
She was on the way, but she was like, I'm gonna get Chloe and leave, and I'm gonna call the police on you. So I was like, you still an accessory because you knew what was going on. Oh my gosh,
that was funny though.
That was funny, but. Moving forward,
but stuff like that, like if you would have like went to jail or whatever, I was gonna be right there for you, making sure you had everything on your commissary.
Look, no,
making sure you had everything, but you gonna be stocked up for the month, baby.
Noodles,
nothing to worry about. You gonna have your hair done. You gonna have money to get your hair braided up in there.
Some plaque.
You gonna have your noodles and stuff going, baby.
Honey buns,
your quesadillas. You gonna be taken care of now. Don't worry about that.
Let's jump to generational cycles. So this is where I guess we didn't intentionally try to become single mothers,
right?
But that's just how God wrote our stories. So I feel like there's something with that for some of us. For us, I don't know what it is with that. I don't think that we're gonna always be single moms. I think that I know I'm gonna get married.
I know I am too.
I'm her.
Yeah.
But I like, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what it is with that or what we needed to heal. That's another podcast.
Another podcast, but
because it's two sides of that.
It's a lot with that.
It takes more than just a mom to have a baby.
Exactly. It's a lot with that.
So, but generational cycles of mothers and daughters. I see women resenting their moms for things that they did to them, but they still end up repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
For example, with baby mama culture, your mama had all these kids, all these baby daddies. You hate that. You
Right.
kind of felt like your mama was wrong for that,
Right.
but you still end up doing the same thing. Why do you feel like that happens? The same things that we resent our parents for, we end up still doing. Why aren't we healing it? What's going on? You hate it so much, you heal it because everybody going through their healing era, their soft girl era, all these eras, but they still making the same mistakes or doing the same because it's not a mistake.
That's what it's healing. They haven't done enough healing because what they're doing is they're calling in the same type of energy. Like you got to heal that, But you looking at it as resentment. I'm not gonna be like my mama, but you don't understand. Like the energy's still there.
Yeah.
With you, like you still holding space for it. Basically. Yeah. Like okay, well, give your mama some grace, show her some compassion. Okay, well, damn, she dropped the ball or whatever. I'm not gonna do that. God, heal our family. Help my mama find healing to where she needs to heal. Because, see, that's going to trickle down. For me, it starts with me. So it's going to trickle down to you.
Or it could be like security for them. Because I know some moms who do have they're great moms.
Yeah.
Different baby daddies and all that. Or just multiple kids, no structure. Y'all been together years, not married. But they'll be like, oh, girl, just have that baby so you can get government care.
It's that lack mentality, too.
The lack mentality? That's what it is.
That lack mentality. Thinking that, you settling, and I can say the women in my family, I can say we haven't settled for men. Like I can say that on my end, like,
and I appreciate you.
Hey man, listen, we ain't going for that. Like you coming through or you going through, like period. Like so, even with like my grandmother and my great grandmother, I saw them like they lived together to the end of their lives. Like they were best friends, and they I didn't see a man over there my whole childhood.
Put up,
and was able to help us growing up, as we got a little older. I feel like that's something that people unintentionally carry because they don't realize it. Just think about it. They don't realize it. They don't realize until like they've sit in it with 3 kids later, like, dang, I just did the same thing my mama did. Why they going through that? They ain't thinking about that.
Or when they get their kids actually choose to break the cycle,
exactly,
and then they become jealous and feeling like they obligated. Girl,
and I ain't gonna say that's what me and my grandma got to go through, but I feel like I would prefer because I put myself in her shoes. I could be her, or I could be that mom that's like, oh my God, I did mess up, like. But you know what I'm saying? Let me and you talk about it and before you like you said, airing everything out or whatever. So media. But I feel like that's something that I would want to at least give her the opportunity to do with me in a healthy environment to where because she might not feel like a lot of things is people want to like minimize your feelings or minimize how you went through that or how that affected you. Like you can't do that to a person. Like you can't tell me how I felt when I went through that.
Yeah. Or like parents feel like they can fix your crown, but you can't fix theirs. How do you feel about that? Like parent, you can't talk to your mom. Like we talked about this earlier, but giving advice to your parents, it's like they don't take it.
Oh, my mom would say, I think I know everything. And most of the time I do be knowing everything. I mean, I be right a lot of time. Like my intuition be on point. Like I just be knowing. And so like when that comes across to the wrong ears, they're gonna receive it wrong. Because I could be like, that pole over there look like it's a wire is loose. You might not want to go back out there. Girl, you don't know what you're talking about. They've been out there 4 years. And I've been out there in a motor yard. And then she go out there and touch it and she get electrocuted.
House blow up and she need to come stay with you. Come stay with you. But you ain't want to listen to me because I'm a child and I need to stay in a child place.
So like stuff like that. Because that reminds me of something that happened when I was a kid. Because I used to be very like, now since I'm thinking about it, I used to be, I guess, psychic when I was little. Because I used to see things happen and then they would happen. Like, so one day my dad was, we were following him. He had a wood truck. He cut wood, like log, whatever. So he had a load that he was
lumberjack.
A lumberjack. I was like, Mama, that tire looks like it's about to pop. Because it just looked like I was. And so she told me, oh, shut up, you always. Anyway, I would see things happening before they would happen. And so being a kid and doing it so much, and the things that would happen would be like inconvenience, like a tire popping. So we got a whole load of wood on the back of this truck and we got a flat tire now. Oh my God, like that's like we ain't gonna make it in time to go sell it. That was one thing.
Yeah.
And so it was basically like, oh, you caused that to happen.
Yeah.
And so that happened to me more than like too many times. And then I like later I just stopped saying stuff. I was like, well, if it happens, it's gonna happen because I can't say nothing. I'm gonna get in trouble or
I remember passing out at what was that?
Six Flags.
Six Flags, yeah. And Grandma loved her to death, but she thought I was faking. She was like, "We planned this trip for y'all, and y'all complaining. You complaining. You the main one complaining. Main one wanted to come, and I literally passed out. Mm-hmm. Like that still kind of like I feel like I don't know if I need to have a conversation with her, but I was like, she never even addressed that with me. She never was like, sorry, baby, I ain't know. Like I just like nothing.
They still laugh at me from how I reacted to try to.
It's like they make it a joke instead of like taking accountability, and it's like I'm like, bro, what if I actually died from a heat stroke? Like, what if or something like
you wasn't gonna die?
I wasn't gonna die, but like you know what I'm saying? It's just like
I get
that right there. Like when you bring it up, it's like
stuff. Like they don't like. They weren't raised like that. You just gotta give them a pass. Just like don't take it personal. It's not like don't take it personal.
It's till it's when something actually happens and they be like, dang, like and they ain't gonna never admit like a child told me that. That goes back to ego.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you think? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying like so now. Well, when they kept happening, like I would see things before they happened. Mm-hmm. Like they shunned it so much to where they made it feel like it was bad for me to do. So I was like, I just like even when y'all was growing up as kids, you be like, Mama, you always bright, like you always be knowing stuff. Like I do. Mm-hmm. It'd be scary.
Now, like I was talking about with passing out, have you ever found it hard to apologize to your kids?
Do you feel like I have?
I don't know if I've released so much stuff that I literally don't remember stuff. I remember maybe feeling like back when I was a teenager, I probably did.
Yeah.
But like I don't have much. I guess that when it's my season to unpack stuff,
right,
that'll come up for me.
Come back,
But right now, I don't feel like there's anything. And then to where you are now, I feel like you brought it up.
Yeah, I did.
Or you've been like, Tweety.
Like, let's talk about, is there anything I did to you in your childhood that, you know, made you feel whatever way? Mm-hmm. And that's when the college thing came up. That came up during that time. And I was like, well, I apologize. Like, I wasn't in this space I'm in now during that time. Like, I'm a totally different person now. But I can see how that, you know, was probably not the best move, you know, in a relationship with somebody who's trying to find their way. And, you know, like that's your life, not me wanting to, you know. I mean, I've already said this to people, so it ain't like I wanted you to go to LSU because that's what I wanted to do. That was my dream. That was a dream for me, you know. And so I pushed it on you. I did. I pushed it on you. Like, I mean, you went with it because you know what I'm saying? You were smart to
I earned my stripes.
You did, but I pushed it on you. And so it's like, that girl got her own life.
As a tiger and a cougar. U of H, go Cougs. Wait, is it Cougs? Go Cougs.
I don't know, but don't talk about U of H right now because, you know, they lost the game.
No, so literally, remind me to take that out my bio because why would they play like that?
I would have probably done some stuff that should have, you know, warranted an apology. I probably wouldn't. I probably would like, well, I ain't gonna like, what I do? Or like, I'm your mom, I could have done it. Like, I probably could see myself being more defensive.
Oh, you gonna thank me later.
Exactly. Or something like that instead of saying, okay, well, let me hear out. Let me see, you know, and put up like now I'll be like, well, so what happened in that, you know, how did you feel when I did that? Or let me know if like it's something you hold against me that I don't even know. Because a lot of stuff we hold against people, not just parents, that they don't realize.
Right.
So it was like I had got to a point in my healing that I was like, man, let me see what I did to my kids. You see what I'm saying? Like I was like, I don't unpack my stuff from my childhood. Let me see what my girls went through. Like, so that's where that was coming from. Like, okay. So if y'all would have told me anything, you know, you really couldn't remember nothing because you ain't unpacked your stuff. You ain't had no bad childhood, but I'm just saying, like, when you go back, you might find some stuff, like you said, when I took your money from that birthday party at the time. That was the one.
See, I didn't even think about that.
No, but that was the one thing you came up with when I said, well, Tweety, what have I ever? He's like, yeah, time you took my birthday money. And I was like, so I don't remember that, but I'm like, if I did take the money, I'm sure I use it on you. Like, it ain't like I took it for me to go pay a bill or something like that because I've never done it. But like during that time, I was like, well, I apologize because I can see how that seemed like that to you. Like as a kid, you done got all this money for your birthday, and then your mama don't let you have it. She's keeping it. Yeah. And I probably was keeping it because you probably gonna lose it or you probably gonna give it away. Right. So
Chloe giving us $20. Girl,
gave that lady $20 too.
I said, baby, I started.
Here the lady goes talking about you She didn't know what she wanted to give
I
back.
said, just keep it.
I was like, oh my God, that's so
Don't say I ain't tired this
But
week.
that's how innocent kids are. Like, she's like, this is money. Like, give her that. But like, that's a good thing. Like, you know, acknowledging like, well, she was a kid. Like, just imagine you being a kid and like you got all this money because you got a lot. It was a lot of money.
Yeah. And
it was pinned on you. So I do remember. I'm sure I took it because that's what we do at birthday parties.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, I know I didn't take it to go spend it on me. Like, and so I felt like, you know, I could have let my ego get in the way and be like, well, I'm sure I ain't let. But I was like, okay, I can understand like how you took that, and that's. I apologize for that. It's not
and
like
sometimes kids don't even understand our explanation.
Exactly.
They're not even gonna get it. So how you feel like that when parents like just shut it down? Like they be like, girl, I gotta explain nothing to you.
That's not healthy.
Like
that's not.
We
healthy.
need to break out of that.
We got to break out of it, and we are breaking out of it. I'm breaking out of it with Chloe. Because like you know, sometimes even with you have like a little impatience for her with that. Yeah. But that's just because you know what I'm saying. Yeah. You gotta break that for her. Like, yeah. So I now a lot of times she'll be like, well, why Gigi? And she's inquisitive. She wants to know why. Like, why can't I do that? Like the other day, Amy told her that she couldn't unlock her car, like with the key, like, and so she was like, well, why? Like, what's wrong with me unlocking the door? And so I said, Amy, just tell her why. Like, it ain't like she just talking back or questioning you, your authority or anything. She just wants. She really wants to know why she can't open the door. She's done it before. And you gotta give kids those scenarios. Yeah, it's easy. So Amy's like, I just don't want her to open the door because something was wrong with her little whatever. Like, I was like, well, tell her that so she can be like, well, it ain't because TT being mean or she pushing me, you know, throwing me off or whatever. And I heard like Indian people, I read somewhere, I don't remember where I read this at, but they start teaching their kids about sex and stuff at like 6 years old. Really? Because they see it already anyway. So they be telling them, okay, this is what's actually happening. Yeah. And they say they tell them so early on because eventually they're gonna get feelings to want to sneak and do it. True. And all that in that culture, you know, they wait until a certain period. Yeah. The women do. Well, they arranged it, so. Yeah, the women do. Because some of the men that I be seeing on TikTok, they do not be waiting. They be having black women. They be tricking and all type of stuff. They do. Yeah, I know the women be waiting. So they teach them about that early on because for one, it's gonna be like it's no surprise. It's not a big deal. Right. Like. Right, it's gonna happen. You supposed to. They tell them that you supposed to have those feelings naturally. You're gonna start wanting to do that. Exactly. Your body is going to you. That means you're healthy. That's why you woke up if you're a boy, hard, or if you a girl, you're gonna have these thoughts. Sensations. You know, like you're growing. You're a preteen. Yeah. So like having those conversations. I think there was a period. You bought me a book. I did. Because I feel like I remember, so for me to and you was like, you was like, sweetie, I cannot talk to you. I couldn't. I was like, but you was honest. You was honest. I was like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Here's a book, baby. Try to get as loud as you can up out of here. It told me about panties, periods, yes, titties growing, tingling. Yeah. So I remember just having how to clean yourself as a young lady. There's so many girls who need that. I even as a high school teacher, I'd be like, bro, where is that book at? Where is that book? I feel like it's in your garage somewhere. I still got it. We need to put that book back on Amazon my store page. But see, that gives you another example of like just because you didn't have it, I mean you couldn't, you know, like find a way. I found a way to make sure you got what you needed. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna be able to sit here and talk to you about it. You musty, baby. Instead of getting on them, be like you musty, you dusty, talking down. You musty, you a little girl. You're not supposed to smell like that. Why? I know. Why am I? Yeah. I play sport. Why? They know why. The parents know why. They just don't want it. And it's just like they gotta be taught, you know what I'm saying? And when grandma hit me with that open your A in the shower, open your A and let the water rinse through. Do you feel like I parent in ways you wish you had been able to? I feel like we have similar parenting styles, I would say. No, we do. Absolutely. We got a lot of both spoiled. Not really. I feel like I'm a lot more laid back probably. Cause I be like, no, you're not. I'm laid back. No, you're not, Mama. I'm laid back. Let's Chloe be the. She wasn't raised by you. She don't know. And not only that, of course she gonna say you laid back because you be like, I was in survival mode when I was raising y'all. Baby, when you had that, y'all, I'm gonna insert a picture of how my mom used to look. That shortcut. When you was in your Khalees era, I don't know. When you was in that mole in the back of the neck era, baby, don't tell her nothing. And couldn't tell me nothing. Like not letting Chloe be around everybody. Like you got that very very particular about her. You like you're a protector. You're a mama bear. Like and that's natural. That's natural. Well, I don't know,
Because
I'm seeing a lot of moms that I know that are not mama bears. Like
they real loose with their
they
kids.
real loose.
Oh, this is a good part because I was actually gonna make a video about this, about women, moms, single moms, them just bringing like their dating life into their parenting life. Because I know I've struggled with this before and I regretted it every single time.
But have you learned anything from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know today outside of my kid, because one, I don't want my kid knowing everybody.
Right.
Two, your child forget after a certain age.
Right.
Because about 5, 6, 7, they remember. Oh, what happened to Johnny?
I still get questions, and I'll be like, "Girl,
what happened to Is that your friend?
No, for real, for real.
Y'all broke up or what? Like, so it's like,
yeah, you don't want that to be like a
reoccurring thing,
yeah,
or even leaving no matter how long you've been dating somebody. I don't even know, like, once I get married, if I would ever even feel comfortable, like, my husband being, like, alone with my child. Like, I know that's a big thing. I've never been molested or anything, but I just remember being so, like, protected as a kid from your trauma.
And did you ever think about, like, why was I so...
Yeah.
Like, okay. Because
that's why I put myself in your shoes. That's why I said maybe I've unpacked already to where I'll be like, not everything I didn't have a hard childhood. I told you that before.
Yeah.
I had a fun childhood. Like, I was living my truth, baby. I wanted to be in fashion. Yeah. I was never limited, like spoiled. Of course, there were boundaries. Like, there were certain controlling aspects. You want to be a W in 9th grade
because everybody else had one.
I didn't have a regular lifestyle. I've been more than average. So I don't really even have the average thing, but that's why I wanted to bring awareness, because the thing is, average is because there's a lot of people who are in that. Just like there's high class, middle class, low class. Mainly people fall in where? Middle. Yeah. Survival mode. Survival.
Because that's what they carry with them. Like, I could continue to choose to carry the survival mode mentality, right? But I'm like, no, I'm living a soft girl life. I am embracing my feminine energy, and I'm showing my girls how it's supposed to be done. And so, yeah, I was in survival mode as far as raising you guys, because that's what I had to do. Because I wasn't gonna let us go without. I wasn't gonna be around here begging for anybody, and I wasn't gonna be around here slanging, because I don't sleep with people like that. So, like, and God He's done more than what I could have asked as far as raising you guys. Like, we really did good. As far as a single parent raising 2 kids by herself, you gotta understand, we moved in the house. I was 26 years old. That had never happened before me.
Doing what you gotta do. I think that just now that you said that, like, how we made a way and things got done. Yeah. When mothers jeopardize themselves, jeopardize their kids, even to be in the name of, oh, I'm doing this for us. How do you feel about that? Because I feel like that's not real love to me. Because if you know that you believe in God, you say you believe that God's gonna provide for you, why would you put yourself in a situation for the devil to take over? One, because you know that people gonna blame it on the devil. Oh, the devil busy. Yeah. Like, I'm so tired of that excuse. I really actually hate that excuse.
The devil. We can't choose. Like the devil can
only
do something. Try to come and break up what we had going on. Position where you're praying and asking God for this, and this, and you see your life like this, you see your relationship like this. Why are you gonna settle?
Right.
You don't have to. Or why would I say, well, the relationship I got with my kids is not ideal. So I'm not gonna settle for it. I'm gonna be like, okay, well, first of all, I'm gonna take a look at myself and see, okay, well, what are you doing or not doing that could be hindering the relationship from moving forward in the way that you wanted to look, or to go. And it's gonna be healthy for everybody involved, not just how you see the relationship. Right. So see where you are with that, and then get into a space where you can able to talk to your kids and be like, hey guys, like, I see this for us. Like, I tell y'all all the time, like, these are the dreams I got from me, and y'all, like, and they gonna come to pass. And we're not gonna talk about it on here, but like, they will come to pass. I've earned my keep with my kids, with this healing journey, just getting to this next stage with what God's trying to do with our family. For one, like, this is, like I say, this is a new thing.
And that was crazy, because my next question on here was, what do you want your legacy as a mother to be? So it's like, you just knocking it off.
Yeah, my legacy as a mom, I want the family traditions back. I want the love back, the genuine love, the genuine support. Like, girl, when I was a kid, like, I was in the newspaper almost every 6 weeks for making the honor roll, banner roll.
Yeah.
Like my grandma would have money waiting on me. Like they would support you. They would, motivate you to keep
Validate.
going. Like, and another thing, validate. So that's one thing I've taught myself, I guess, push it on to y'all, like that external validation. Like I got it as a kid, but like that, if I don't get it now, like, do I feel like I'm still enough if I'm not getting that outside validation from like the people that I feel like should be giving me that validation or that I'm wanting it from? But you don't need that.
Yeah.
You
You don't
need
need
that. So,
validation.
exactly. So that's something that I guess from my childhood that could have kind of hurt me in a little way because like I was always on a pedestal. Like that's probably what an image where I had to be like this person because this is like how everybody painted me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she missed, she
perfect.
You had a baby at 17. Like that was like a shunning thing for me at first.
Yeah.
So when I first got pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I'm so smart. Everybody think I'm supposed to finish high school and go right to college. And I didn't go right to college. So it was just like that right there haunted me for a long time of how people were going to look at me like, oh my God, that girl was too smart for that.
Yeah.
No, I was too smart to be around here listening to y'all.
So if you could tell your younger self one thing about motherhood, and after this question, we'll wrap up the show, what would it be?
That everybody will mother differently. Everybody's path of motherhood is going to look different. Don't try to compare yourself to the next mother because that's all it's going to do is just put you in a low vibrational state to where that makes you feel like you are not doing enough, that you're not enough, you're doing something wrong, or that your kids, are not going to see you for the mother you are. So my advice would just be to stay in your own lane with it. Ask God to show you where you are falling short, because that's the only one who's going to be able to tell you and show where you can improve and keep going. That's it. Don't give up. Don't stop. I don't care how hard it gets. Your kids will appreciate it in the long run. They will appreciate it. And they may not see it until you feel like it's, years have passed, whatever, but everything happens at the divine time that it's supposed to happen. And everybody wakes up when they're supposed to wake up. Everybody sees what they're supposed to see when they need to see it.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
That's it.
Just like this podcast, y'all. So
right, and this was very like it wasn't. You did plan this, the vision. God gave you the vision to have this, and I really, like I said in the beginning, I'm honored, to not only be able to do this with my daughter, but to have a daughter that's smart and
Thank you. I feel validated.
Oh God, she's smart. And you remind me so much of me. You gotta allow your daddy in you, That dog will come out at you when your daddy.
That dog give me.
Decide,
don't make me act like my daddy.
Yeah, please, God. But just to be able to sit here in your studio, like this is, it's like you put something out there and you work hard and you don't stop until you get it.
Is there anything else that you want to?
I did have some people.
Tell the camera, tell them, because
hey guys,
hey, I hear so much advice every day. Imagine having a life coach, a life strategist as your mother. You can only imagine the amount of coaching. I literally have to have a call to keep up with my babysitter. So if I have to have her services, she has to have mine. Okay? Yeah. So look, exactly. Y'all can only imagine the type of structure, the type of everything that
foundation we're building.
Foundation you get. And then, Mom, also, like, after this conversation, how do you feel our relationship is going to change, evolve, like, after this?
This is groundbreaking, to say the least. This whole thing is groundbreaking. Before today was even here, like, we've had time to think about this. We've had time to talk to God about it. I've had time to talk to God about it.
Yeah.
I've had time to ask God to allow this to be the first step to our healing that we really need to have.
Yeah.
This ain't just about me and you. This thing is bigger than us. And I just thank God that He's chosen us as the vessels to get that open, open energy out. Like, hey, you can't do this with your mom. Mom and daughter, that stigma behind like they can't get along or it's jealousy or whatever. Like you don't have to have that as your truth. Like after this, we are gonna elevate. I feel like we're in a better place now to like
get on TikTok live and talk about
exactly.
it.
So I feel like this is just
because I do want to do a segment about narcissistic mothers. all different. Cause
so why? So how did this come to your vision? Like,
because Mother's Day is coming up.
Okay.
So my goal is that this will be posted on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Just bringing attention to that you can have a good relationship with your mom.
You can.
Nothing's gonna be perfect. And I also want to ask you, because after this conversation, I asked you what you're gonna leave with. I feel like I'm gonna leave with, yes, a stronger. We always had a strong bond, but a lot of clarity on certain things that I've already asked you about prior to this interview, but just, I guess, a little bit of reassurance. Some of that validation that I'm still working with as far as needing validation and self-love that I'm working on for myself. I feel like some of that was healed today within me.
Okay, good.
I did want to ask you, so going back to when they say life's too short, that is a true statement. From just what I've been through these past 11 months, 10 months. Life is short. If the resources never become available in the lifespan that we are in to have a counselor, do you feel like that conversation is even meant to be? That we need to address what's really hurting or what you feel that we need to heal? Because I ain't gonna lie, I still don't know what you possibly could be talking about as far as what we would need a counselor for that we can't talk about by ourselves. So I'm actually very curious about that. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't bring it up on the podcast today, because I was like, don't be like no filter.
Yeah.
But if you feel like that we need the
no, we do,
counselor, then yeah. But if that comes a time that we don't get to that point, how do you feel like you're gonna cope with that? Even if you don't get that with your own mother, to where y'all don't get to a point that y'all both put in the resources to get a professional counselor to have that hard conversation. How are you gonna feel if she leaves this earth and y'all never got the chance to really talk about what you really need to talk about?
I'll be okay. Like, because I've gotten to a point where I've gotten to a point of healing myself to where I'm like, I understand. Like, I understand more. Like, I don't have any grudges. And it's not gonna keep me from growing.
But thank you again for coming on the podcast, and I hope this conversation helped somebody out there today. You guys, please follow my mom on Instagram.
Just on TikTok. Shandrika S. May.
Alright, and then you guys can also follow me at Tierney vs. Tweety on all platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with a mother, a daughter that you know out there. Let us know your comments down below. Alright, see you guys on the next one.
Okay, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.